This happened a few summers ago, back when I was still living at home with my parents. I was 17 at the time, and my life was pretty ordinary, until that weekend. It was the first and only time my parents ever went away without me. They were the kind of people who practically lived to maintain the house, never took vacations, never left anything to chance. But for some reason, one I never fully understood, they were gone for a few days. Just like that. Naturally, I took full advantage of the rare freedom. I invited my girlfriend, MJ, over to spend the weekend. It felt like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No parents, no rules, and the house all to ourselves. MJ, she had this wild, mischievous streak. Always pushing boundaries in that flirty, rebellious way. Honestly, that's part of why we didn't last, but that's a whole other story. So there we were, that first night, standing by the pool in the backyard. It was glowing with that soft, blue light that makes everything feel like a dream. MJ caught sight of it, and her eyes sparkled. "Let's skinny dip," she said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. I hesitated. "The neighbors might see," I said. But she leaned in and whispered, "When will you ever get this chance again?" She was right. We had swum plenty of times before, but never like this. Eventually, I caved. Her enthusiasm was contagious, impossible to resist. Under the night sky, with the warm water and cool air, it felt perfect. Surreal, even. Like we were in our own little world. Let me paint the scene for you. The pool sat just outside these huge bay windows that looked into the living room. Because the lights inside were on, and it was pitch dark outside, the glass became a mirror. We could see straight into the heart of the house, like we were peering into a dollhouse from the outside. It felt comforting. Safe. Until it didn't. MJ was talking about something, I can't even remember what, when I looked up and froze. There, on the far living room wall, was a shadow. It was faint, but it was moving. I knew instantly it wasn't a trick of the light. Someone, something, was inside the house. I watched, heart pounding, as the shadow glided out of sight. I didn't want to panic MJ, so I whispered that we needed to get out of the pool. To her credit, she didn't ask questions. She just followed my lead. I handed her a towel and quietly told her to hide in the pool house, turn off the lights, and not make a sound. She was visibly scared, but composed. She nodded and vanished into the shadows. I slipped through the back door into the kitchen, barefoot and dripping. I grabbed a knife from the cutting board, because what else could I do? That's how I was raised, protect first, panic later. As I moved through the house, I started noticing strange details. A dining chair slightly pulled out. A picture frame crooked on the wall. A coffee mug on the counter I knew I hadn't used. Tiny things. But enough to let me know someone had been there. And they weren't in a rush. I started wondering if this was even a robbery. Because who breaks into, move furniture? I searched the entire ground floor. Every room, every closet. Nothing. All doors locked. All windows sealed. There was no sign of forced entry, no place for anyone to hide. And yet, I had seen that shadow. Eventually, my courage gave way to common sense. I called the cops. They showed up quickly, did a thorough search of the house, the yard, everywhere. And they found nothing. No footprints. No broken locks. No signs of entry. Just a lingering sense that something was off. One officer suggested I might have scared the intruder off. But I wasn't convinced. Not even close. MJ and I were too freaked out to sleep, but we had no choice. We locked every door, barricaded the bedroom, and tried to ride out the night. That was wishful thinking. Around 4 a.m., I woke up to the unmistakable sound of floorboards creaking above us. I held my breath. Then, footsteps, slow, deliberate, moving down the stairs. I grabbed the knife I had left by the bed and told MJ to stay put. I crept out of the room, heart racing, every shadow looking like it might lunge at me. When I reached the front hallway, the door was wide open. Whoever had been in the house was gone. Again. This time, I didn't even call the police. What was the point? We stayed awake until sunrise, too afraid to move. But the real punch to the gut came the next morning. All of our kitchen knives were gone. Every single one. Whoever had been in the house hadn't just taken random valuables. They took weapons. It felt intentional. Like a message. But what that message meant, I still have no idea. They also took some cash, a couple watches, small electronics. But it was the missing knives that haunted me. When my parents returned, I told them everything. Shockingly, they believed me. They didn't even get mad. Maybe they could tell how shaken I was. I've never been the type to scare easily. But that night changed something. To this day, I don't know how the intruder got in. Or how they vanished without a trace, even after the police searched every inch of the place. It's one of those strange, unsettling events that stays with you forever. And no matter how much time passes, one detail always comes back to me. That shadow, staring out from behind the glass.